Hello everyone, so in this video we are going to see map, filter, reduce and zip inbuilt functions in Python. Let's cover the theoretical part first. So they are the inbuilt function in Python. Map and filters are used before list comprehension was in the date. So before list comprehension, we extensively used map and filters. Now list comprehension can accomplish everything that map and filter can accomplish. And that's why we write a use list comprehension more than map and filter. Now let's see map. So map is used to iterate through all items and return iterator. So it is very important to know that map always return iterator, not values. Then it accepts two arguments. So the first one is a function and the second is iterator. Map does not print anything unless you want to print that explicitly, and we use map to iterate over an iterator and execute a function, not to print anything. Let's see the coding part on map. So let's see the scenario 1. The first point we talk about map is it does not print anything. So let's check that. This is the function and this is the syntax of a map. So right now map, the first argument is a function and the second argument is an iterator, which is a list. So when we execute this block of code, you can see we get an iterator, not the actual values or print statement. So you can see it does not print anything unless you want to print that explicitly. So let's see the scenario 2. In that, let's say we want to print a print statement inside a function using map, and we are not returning anything from that particular function. So you can see there is no return statement. And I'm converting that iterator into a list using this list function. So when I run this code, you can see this print statement is executed. Since this particular function is not returning anything, it returned none. So this is how you can print messages which are in the function using map. Now let's see the third scenario. In that, we are returning some value from the function which is going to consume by map. So we are calling map again with the function name and the iterator, and you can see the result now. It will give you the result as a map object. So when you are just returning some value from a function using map, it will just return a map object. But you can convert that object into an original value. So you can see here, when I'm converting that object into a list using this list function, that particular return statement is converted into an original value. You can see the print statement is also executed and we are returning from the function. So this is how we can work with map using function and iterator. And these are the various scenarios you can expect when we are going to use this inbuilt function called map. So we just saw the coding part for a map. Now let's see the filter. So the filter function is used to create an output list consisting of values for which the function returns true. So when we are passing a function and iterator to filter, so whatever the elements on which your condition is going to satisfy, only those elements will be returned from this particular function. It means that those elements are result in true, and that's why this particular filter function is going to return those elements only. And this function results in boolean value true and false. So whenever true, it will going to give you that particular element. If it is false, it is going to skip that element. Now let's see the coding part for filters. So using this simple program, you can see all the functionalities of the filter. So I created this function, and in the filter, we are going to pass that function and iterator. You can pass it as a list, you can pass it as a tuple. Right now I'm passing it as a tuple, and then this is our condition. So if x is greater than equal to 3, then only return that particular value. So it is a filter for this particular iterator using this function. So when we are going to run this particular block of code, you can see it will result in filter object. And here you can see the filter object is written. Similarly, we did for map, we need to convert that object into list, and you can see the result is 3 and 4. So only 3 and 4 element from this iterator satisfy this particular condition, that's why they are filtered from this iterator. And you can see this new list is printed. So that is basically use of filters. So we just finished the coding part for filter using one simple example. Then next we are going to talk about reduce. The reduce function, as the name describes, applies a given function to iterator and returns a single value. It takes three parameters. First parameter is a function, second parameter is an iterator, and third parameter is an initial. Now let's see the coding part for reduce. To use reduce, we need to import this library called function tools, and from the function tools we need to import reduce. Then I created this function called addition, which accepts two parameters a and b, and it will return you the addition of these two parameters. You can see in the iterator I passed a list which consists of two elements, 10 and 10. And when I run this particular block of code, you can see the 20 is an output. So as the definition stated, it will return you a single value. Now let's see another example with this third parameter called initial. So we have one function addition which performs same functionality. It will take these two parameters and it will give you the addition. And you can see I passed right now the same iterator 10 and 10, but right now I want my initial calculation start from 1000. So you can clearly see the A value right now is 1000. Then this B value is this first item of a list 10. So you can see 1000 plus 10 is equal to 1010. Then this new 1010 is considered as a A, and then this next 10 considered as a B. So you can see the next execution 1010 plus 10 is equal to 1020. And you can see at the end the entire result is returned as 1020. So you can see it will return only one single value. So that is the use of reduce. It will use the iterator and it will give you the single value result. But you can also use statement inside the function like a print statement and other function that will also execute when it comes to reduce. We just saw the coding part for reduce using two examples. Now let's see the last function, which is zip, which is used to aggregate the element from the two or more iterables whose elements are tuple, and that contains one element from each of the original iterator. Let's see the coding part for this zip so that you can get more clarity on the definition of a zip. Here you can see the zip parameter takes n number of iterators. So this is the first iterator and this is the second iterator, which are two lists. Then when I said zip, you can see the result is first the type is zip, and then the result is we are taking one element from one iterator and one element from one iterator, and we are iterating over these two iterators. You can see the result 1a, then 2b and 3c are tuples. You can see this is a one tuple, this is a second tuple, and this is a third tuple. And here you can see a simple comment. Right now this zip is an zip object, but you already saw we need to convert that object into our original format. So we just use list function to convert that object into a list, and you can see this is the result of that zip object. This is the another example of zip using a for loop. So you can see zip to iterators, and you can see x and y are holding one value of each iterator, and you can see here the result. Let's say when we pass to different length iterator. So here you can see the first iterator has 6 elements and the second iterator has a 5 element only. So you can see the first element from both the iterators are taken, then second, then third, then 4, and when it comes to 10 and 62. So this 7 element is ignored because this is an extra element in first iterator. So this is what happened when we pass two different length iterators. As we saw in the definition, this zip can take n number of iterators. So you can see this is right now I'm passing 3 iterators. So you can see xpts, ypts, zpts, these are 3 iterators, and you can see When I'm running this, each value of each iterator is taken at the same time. You can see 1, 101 and 1. So this is the use of zip to iterate over multiple iterators in a single go. So we just saw coding part for zip. Thank you everyone.